Hi, I'm Holly True Verret. I want to welcome you to Inspiration for Daily Living. By the time you're done watching this video, I hope that you are encouraged, strengthened, and built up in every area of your life so that you can live an empowered life every single day. I want to tell you this is my second video in this series, and it's been a few months since I made the first video, and there's a reason why, and it's what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to talk to you about today breaking out of your comfort zone so that you can live an empowered life and do the things that you were created to do and live the life that you were created to live. You see, the other day my husband was on the phone with a very good friend of his, and the guy asked when I was going to make another video, that he really enjoyed watching my videos. And my husband told him the reason I had not made another video is because that I am more comfortable making videos outside in the elements than in a controlled environment in a studio setting like I'm in today. And he's right. For some reason, when I'm outside and I'm in the elements, there's planes going overhead, birds chirping, and sounds of cars and different things going on, I'm more comfortable. I want you to know that what I'm doing today in this environment, in a controlled environment, in a studio setting, for me is absolutely uncomfortable. And I started to do some self-reflection after he told me that of why I don't want to be in a controlled environment. Why do I like being outside? Why do I like the elements and the element of surprise or things taking place? And I realized that there is inside of me a deep fear and an uncomfortable feeling in this kind of environment because all eyes are on me. What I say goes directly from my mouth to your ears into your brain, and there are no distractions. It's just you and I. When I'm outside, yes, I'm speaking to you, and yes, you're listening, but there are distractions. There are other things that could take the focus off of what I'm saying. And even though it's my heart and my desire to tell you things that will encourage you and build you up and strengthen you, and that's my heart to share with you, something inside of me obviously has self-doubt when it comes to something that I am saying, or the way that I am presenting, the way that I look, the way that my makeup is, and my hair is, or something that there was a deep-seated fear of you seeing me. And so I took several days of self-reflection and of prayer time and of study and of just talking to myself and trying to figure out why I had this fear. Why have I created a comfort zone that I could live in, and why won't I break out of it? Well, can I tell you that I broke the barrier? Today, this video, it's breaking the barrier. And I want to teach you today how to break out of the barrier of your comfort zone, because can I tell you that a comfort zone is a lie? The most uncomfortable place that you or I live is in our comfort zone. It really is not comfortable. You know why it's not comfortable? Because we were made for more. We are created for more. Inside we know there is more. And yet we build comfort zones because we're afraid to branch out and break out and to do something that we've never done before, in an environment we've never been in before, in a way we have never expressed it before. We get afraid. And because we get afraid, we shut down. When we shut down, we go into that comfort zone. And do you know what we do when we go in that comfort zone? We begin to justify. We justify ourselves into staying in that comfort zone and putting up blocks and barriers so no one ever confronts us about our comfort zone. We say things like, this is just the way that I am. I was born this way. There's nothing I can do. My mother was this way. My grandma was this way. My dad was this way. And we build justification and we build walls around ourselves, and no one ever comes and confronts that. And they start to just accept that that's just the way that they are. It's like the person that says, I'm an introvert. I don't like crowds. I don't like to be around people. Do you know why I know that that's a lie? Do you know why I know that's not true? Because we were created to be relational beings. No one was created to be alone. What that person is experiencing is that they're experiencing a fear of relationships. Someone, somewhere in their life, maybe one person, maybe several people, caused them to believe that with new relationship or relationship of any kind that is built on and grown, there comes pain, there comes hurt, there comes discomfort. And so they shut down. At some point in their lives, they shut down and they read a book or they listened to someone who said, you're just an introvert. This is just the way that they are. And they built up walls around themselves, and they now do not relate to the outside world. They don't branch out. They don't reach out. They get up in the morning. They spend time with themselves. They go to their job. They do as little as possible to interact with the outside world. They come home. They turn on their TV. They eat their dinner. They go to bed. They get up the next day. They do the exact same way. The same thing over and over and over. Well, someone once said, if you do the same things over and over, you're going to get the same results. If you want a different result in your life, you have to do something different. And with different comes risk. And with risk comes vulnerability. And with vulnerability comes the possibility that we may experience pain, we may experience hurt, we may experience discomfort. And none of us like to experience those things because we don't want to feel them. Because somehow we've attached discomfort or pain or failure or hurt with destroying ourselves. And it's not true. Nothing grows without pain and discomfort. Nothing grows in this world. It doesn't matter. Nothing can grow without discomfort. I remember my brother when we were growing up. He had leg aches so bad my mom would have to get rubbing alcohol and she'd have to rub his legs at night for a couple of years during his teen years to get the pain and discomfort out of his legs, and those were growing pains. Well, my brother couldn't have gone to the next level in his height had he not gone through those growing pains. Now, we'll accept those kind of pains because they're something that we are accustomed to. We know we have to go through growing pains. But in other areas of our life, whether that is learning how to be in a relationship, whether that is starting a new business, whether that is going after a dream, doing a desire, something that is in your heart that you know you want to do, for some reason, we have equated pain as a bad thing, discomfort as a bad thing. What I want to teach you today is that discomfort and pain, those things that you will experience when you do something new and branch out of your comfort zone, those are the things that are going to help you grow into the person you were created to be. You know, I hear people all the time saying, I want to be successful. I have dreams. I want to own a big house. I want to own this kind of car. I want to open an orphanage for children. I want to do this. I want to do that. You name it. I've heard it. They want to do those things, and yet they don't want to take the action steps necessary to get those things done. They just want to live in the realm of their dreams and their desires and their potential because it's comfortable. I know what that feels like. I have experienced that in my own life. Today I'm branching out of my comfort zone into my uncomfort zone in this controlled environment to bring this video to you today. Because I realized that just how selfish it was of me to not want to do something that was uncomfortable for me, but I knew that you needed to hear this message. I knew that what is inside of me, the words that I have to say to you, the things that I have that God has given me to share with you, you need to hear, and it's very selfish of me. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm not promised tomorrow. Something can happen to me today, God forbid, but something can happen to me today. And what if this video had not been released? Somebody needed to hear these words, but what if I lived in my comfort zone and it never was released? And you didn't hear it, and you didn't grow. It didn't give you an opportunity to be built up, encouraged, and strengthened, to be an empowered person who makes a difference and an impact in this world. How selfish of me. And what I want you to know is that if you are living in your comfort zone, it's selfish of you. All of us, within us, have desires and goals and dreams and hopes for things that are going to change our world. Some of us that it will change the world. All of us are looking for that life purpose. All of us have the drive to be something more than we are today. But if we don't learn how to step out of our comfort zone, we'll never accomplish those things. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you today on this video. I'm going to talk about a personal story that is very near and dear to my heart, and I've only shared it with a couple of people. But it's going to give you an example of what could be if only I had stepped out of my comfort zone years ago. But I want to tell you that one thing that we do, not only do we justify, but we also live in the beauty of our potential. And here's what I mean by this. Several years ago, a very well-known author and speaker. His name is Jack Zufeld. He wrote The DNA of Success. He's a world-renowned speaker, a New York Times bestseller. When Facebook first came out and I was on Facebook, I saw Jack Zufeld and I commented on something that Jack Zufeld had wrote. Jack Zufeld liked what I had said and he sent me a personal message and we started to interact. I started to share my heart, my goals and desires. I had got his book and read his book. It was really the first book that I had ever read front to back, cover to cover. And it really impacted my life and it changed my life. And we started to interact. Jack and I, in our conversations, I shared my heart, what I wanted to do in this life, the books that I wanted to write, the messages that I speak, that I want to speak to the world, my dream and my goal and my desire to be in a stadium with thousands and thousands of men and women being encouraged by the words that God gives for me to speak to them. And I shared, and over several weeks, Jack and I conversed. And I want you to know that Jack Zufeld told me that the material that I have inside of me would demand, if I would get it outside of me, $10,000 an hour. That there were literally people in this world who were speaking and writers who were, when they were asked to come and speak for them, were being paid $10,000 an hour. Now, I know for myself and probably for you too, to wrap your mind around being paid $10,000 an hour for anything that is inside of you, anything that you possibly could do, is something that would be very hard to fathom. He knows men and women right now that are doing those very things and getting paid that kind of money. Well, of course, the excitement and everything inside of me was bubbling up. I was going, are you kidding me? I mean, this is just something that I came up with. Somebody would pay that kind of money to read my books, to hear me speak. There's no way. There's no way. But after our conversations, I would dream about it and think about it. I mean, really, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to have enough money so that I could do the things that I knew I wanted to do for people, to open up an apartment complex with 100 beds for teenagers who were homeless and troubled teens. I knew that was my heart's desire. To do that, I needed money. So I started to dream of all of the things that I could do with that kind of money. One thing that Jack told me is, he said, Holly, what I want you to do is I want you to write every single day. Every day. No matter what, put something out there every single day. And I did. I listened to him. Every day for 365 days, I wrote a blog. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I sacrificed, got out of my comfort zone of sleeping in. I sacrificed. I wrote every single day, and I posted on Facebook. And I posted on my blog. And I had dozens and dozens and dozens of people that would comment how what I wrote and what I shared changed their lives. They'd share it with others, and I'd have people I didn't even know that would write and tell me how much I inspired them, how much my words changed their lives, how this was the very thing they needed in their day. Well, after I was done doing that, someone in my life wrote to me and said, Holly, please stop tagging me in your blogs. Though they're very good, it's not the direction I want to go in life. Well, what do you think that I did after that one comment? That one critic, that one person? I stopped writing. Now, I've written a few things there, here and there, and I've started books, but I stopped writing. I didn't hear in my head the voices of the hundreds and hundreds of people that for 365 days were changed by the words that I wrote. I heard that one critic. And can I tell you what? It really wasn't the one critic I heard. It was taking the words of that one critic, internalizing them, listening to them, and then I became my worst critic. What I want you to know today is that we are our own worst critics. We are our own worst obstacles, our worst enemies, and we are our only obstacles in this life. I stopped writing because I listened to a critic. Can you imagine what would have happened had I continued writing, had I continued speaking? At the time, I was speaking for Fresh Start Women's Resource Center here in Arizona. I was teaching a class, Assertiveness from the Inside Out. I was teaching a class on relationships. I had dozens and dozens of women coming to me every week, talking to me about how what I shared with them changed their lives. I was speaking for a program here for teen girls. I had a weekly teen group that met, and I was encouraging them and inspiring them. And guess what I did? Slowly but surely, I backed out of all of those things. and I stopped doing what I had done that had changed so many people's lives. Why? Because it was very uncomfortable for me to receive that word. To me, I internalized it as criticism, and then I started to internalize it as there was something wrong with me. Maybe I wasn't supposed to be doing this. Maybe I was offending more people than I knew. How many of you live your day worried about who you're going to offend so you don't take any steps of faith or any action steps to do what you really want to do because you don't want to offend someone? Can I give you a secret right now? Can I give you a secret that will change your life? You are always going to offend someone. You know why? People get offended. Offense is not given. Offense is taken. No matter what you do, you could do everything perfect, and someone will criticize you. Someone will be offended. You're not going to be able to please all of the people all of the time. You're not even going to be able to please most of the people all of the time. But if you impact one person, only one, it doesn't have to be thousands. If you impact one person, your life made a difference. In you, there are hopes and dreams and desires to make an impact in this world, to change your world and possibly change the world, if you will learn how to step outside of your comfort zone. Well, how do you do that? You have to take action steps. Research has been done that when a thought comes in your mind, you have exactly 5 seconds to write down or take an action steps for that thought before it's gone. So if you have a thought in your head that you want to help the homeless, write it down. If you have a thought that you want to write a book, write it down. Or something you want to say, something that you want to do, an invention you want to create, write it down. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds before that thought is out of your head. You've got to take an action step. In order to get out of your comfort zone, you have to become willing to embrace being uncomfortable. You have to embrace that if you will go through some discomfort, you are going to grow into a person that is going to make a difference in this life. You are going to become a person who makes an impact in this world. Graveyards all over the world are filled with untapped potential. They are filled with people, books that have never been written, movies that have never been written, lives that have never been changed, inventions that have never been created, because those people were not willing to step outside their comfort zone and make an impact in this world. They were not willing to suffer a little discomfort, a little pain, in order for them to become the person they were created to be. Do you know it's not by accident? It is not by chance that you are here, that I am here on this earth. You're not here by accident. You are here for a reason. And I know you say, I want to have success. I want to do this. I want to do that. But you don't want to go through the steps that it takes to do those things. Well, I want you to know that no one on this planet at any time, ever since the creation of the world, has ever just went from birth to success. You know, I really have a heart to help people. I have a heart to share. I do see myself in stadiums with thousands and thousands of people. I do see books written and my name on the bestsellers list. But guess what? If I don't break out of my comfort zone like I'm doing today with this video, if I don't take action steps every single day to break out of my comfort zone, guess what? It's not going to happen. I do see potential in you. I see potential in me. But potential untapped dies in a whisper. I'm going to say that again. Potential untapped dies in a whisper. Your life was meant to be loud. Your creativity and the things in you were meant to be seen, were meant to be heard. What you have inside of you that I don't have inside of me, because we are all created for a different purpose and a different reason. What you have, I need, and what I have, you need. But we have to be willing to share our stories. We have to be willing to take a risk. We have to be willing to get out of our comfort zone. Today inside of you is creativity. There are books, inventions, creations, words, relationships that you are supposed to have, that you are supposed to be a part of. I want to encourage you today to start to feel that uncomfortable feeling of living in your comfort zone. You know, years ago somebody told me a story of 2 old men who were sitting on a porch. They were having a conversation, and one of the old man's hound dogs was laying on the porch. And that hound dog all afternoon, as they're sitting in the sun and drinking their lemonade and conversing, was howling and crying. And finally it got so annoying to the one old man. He looks at the other old man and he goes, "What is wrong with your dog?" And he said, "He's laying on a nail." And he goes, "Are you kidding me? Why doesn't he get up?" And he goes, "Well, he doesn't get up because I guess it doesn't hurt bad enough yet." That is so true for all of us. The pain and what we're going through in our comfort zone, for some of us, doesn't hurt bad enough. But you know when it will start to hurt bad enough? When you realize that somebody in your life, somebody in your world is not benefiting. When you know that you could make a change, whether it's in the homeless man at the corner, whether it's in the child that you are raising, the spouse that you are married to, the employee that you are serving, the person you are working next to, someone in your life, when you realize that you can make a difference and impact someone's life, that you could change a life, when you start to internalize that and see that you matter, that your life has meaning, when you see that and you start to let that sink in, that's when the nail will start hurting bad enough, and you will have a desire, a deep longing and desire to take action steps, to change and to get outside of your comfort zone. I realize that my life, if it statistically goes the way it's supposed to go, is more than half over because I'm almost 50. So if I am a statistic and my life ends between 70 and 90 years old, my life is over half over. And it hurt bad enough when I realized in the last couple of years, the nail hurt bad enough, and I said, I don't care if it's polished. I don't care if it's perfect. I don't care if it's packaged right. I am going to make a difference. I am going to write. I am going to speak. Anyone who will listen. I mean, even right now, as I'm making this video, you might hear in the background a phone ringing. That's a distraction. I don't care. It does not matter. I am going to make the commitment to make this video and to let my words impact and change the life of someone who is out there watching this. I want to thank you for taking the time. I want to challenge you today to do what it takes, to take the action step it takes to get outside of your comfort zone. I need you. The world needs you. Your world needs you. Your life has purpose. Your life has meaning. You were created to be more. There is greatness inside of you. Take the risk. Learn to embrace being uncomfortable. Step outside of your comfort zone. Be the change that you want to see in this world.